Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lori and I'm the face behind Entre Tejidos Crochet. Today's video is the long-awaited choosing your colors for your next crochet project or something like that. I'm not very good at making titles, but the general idea is I want to share my tips and tricks, if you will, of pairing colors for your next crochet projects. Now, I am not a guru. I am not a professor. I'm not like a doctor or anything. No fancy thing. I have gotten a lot of comments, a lot of compliments that people like how I pair colors. Most of the time, I just stare at my yarn stash and whatever speaks to me, that's what I use. Other times I struggle, especially when I'm making multiples of the same pattern. Like when I made my baby dragons, I wanted to make each of them in a different color, but I was getting stuck on, I already made a blue dino. I want to make another blue dino, but I don't want to make it the same blue dino, if that makes sense. So when that happens, and I get stuck choosing colors, I do have other techniques of choosing colors, if you will. This video is going to be broken up into like the sort of before and after sort of video. The first part is the before, of course. I'm going to share the three main ways I choose my colors, or I am influenced or inspired to choose my colors. And then once we pick those colors, I'll work up a project with those colors so that you can see what I mean when sometimes when you pick out your colors in yarns and put them all together, it's like, I don't think it's gonna work, but 100% of the time it does work. And then the other part is going to be like the major reveal, like, okay, this is the result, okay? So whenever I'm going to pick my colors for a project, this is what I do. I just look at my stash. Oh, I want to make a dragon in this color. So I start with that main color. And then I start pairing it from here to here. So for my dragon pattern, for example, you need 3 colors. So if I want to make a green dragon, I will first look at the main color, in this case, green. Let me bring Daisy Dragon into the frame. So when making Daisy Dragon, I wanted to make her green, so I chose pistachio. Then I grabbed the skein of pistachio, and then I went shopping in my yarn stash for colors that I felt looked great together. And in this case, I chose, this is a blue color from Hobie's Honey Bunny, and this is a nice kind of like medium toned yellow, and that's what I went for. More often than not, this is how I choose my colors. I want to make this sort of plushie in this color. I pick the main color and then I pair the other colors together. Other times, a specific color palette will be sitting in my brain. For example, I've designed another bug pattern. The whole idea is for it to be a beetle. And typically beetles, I know there's this almost ombre sort of really bright beetle color. We have the stink bug, which technically, now that I think about it, I don't know if it's a beetle or if it's like a stink bug, but it's a bright green and I wanted to capture that, but at the same time have it in a darker tone. So for this cutie, what I did is I chose this bright green. This is actually Goblin. But since I had less than a skein of it, I think I had about half of it, I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough for the body. I just switched my colors out. Even though I picked out the brighter green, I switched it to being, let's say, like an accent color, and then used this darker one as the main color. From there, since I had a dark green, I had a light green, I wanted to add another color, not a green, another color that would be kind of, in terms of saturation of like how bright a color is, that it would be like in between. And that's how I added the eggplant. This is eggplant by from Premier Yarns Parfait Chunky. And here we have it. But even then, because I know we've been there, I've been there a bunch of times. But even when you look at your yarn stash and it's just not clicking, like the colors aren't coloring. There are some ways that I combat that. I battle against that. I fight against that. And it's two things. The first thing I do is I look at my safety eyes. If you notice, this one has like purples. I don't think the camera is picking it up a whole lot, but it has a dark teal, a dark green. But when I have these really bright, beautiful, glittery eyes, I pick the colors, I pick the yarn colors to match the safety eyes. This one was a happy accident because I chose my yarn colors first and I paired them. This is the Ocean Sparkle safety eyes from my own shop. But as you can see, it does have the same blue, the same green, and it has a little bit of gold, which mimics the yellow that you see here. So if you're stuck on colors, take a detour, because I understand we get overwhelmed, especially when we have a lot of different colors in our stashes, that, you know, we can get a bit overwhelmed. So by limiting the choices, so by looking into your eye stash and like, ooh, I love these colors together, you can go ahead and grab the colors or the yarn colors that match it. Here's an example. We're gonna go safety eye shopping and yarn shopping. And then the other way that if the checking for safety eyes doesn't work and I'm stuck on choosing colors, I go to Pinterest. And on Pinterest, I'll actually link the board that I have on my downtime. Like, I just go through the color palette boards and like save for a rainy day. So that's another way. If you've seen my, like, I let Pinterest choose my colors sort of challenges, that's what I do. I choose color palettes from there, things that I normally wouldn't pick. To be honest, and like full disclosure, both bugs that I made with that pattern, both have sold. And those are colors that I would never, like, that I don't think I would have paired together, but they worked and they were amazing and they sold. So those are the ways that I typically use. I either look into my stash, like colors that speak to me, or I look at the safety eyes that I have and then go from there. Or the third option is look on Pinterest. Look around in nature. There are a lot of flowers or flowery plants out there that have like these different tones of like greens and purples and pinks, and you can get inspiration from there. When you think of a sunset on the beach, what colors do you think? You can use that sort of idea, that sort of inspiration to make up your color palettes. Now let's put these to the test. Since I'm already here at the desk, I'm going to go ahead and pick my safety eyes for my next dragon. I'm gonna focus on making 3 dragons, 1 for each of the steps. So we'll see how it goes. So to be like, this is where I store my safety eyes. Not the ones that I sell, mine. Like, I bought them. I have a mix of ones that I've gotten from other designers and my own. So for Daisy Dragon, I mostly use 30mm eyes, and ooh, I already kind of got the idea of using the blue one, this one, but look at this one. It's still blue, but it does have a little bit of pink in it, which I think will serve well with what I want to do. So I think we're gonna go with those. So for the second option when choosing safety eye colors is to go with the colors of the safety eyes. We already have that. Now let's move over to here to my yarn stash so that we can pick out the colors. Okay, so most of the time when I need to choose colors, this is my vantage point, or actually it's a little bit farther back, but this is my vantage point, and I just sit here and think, okay, I can do, you know, I can do warm colors, I can do cooler colors, I can do like these colors. Yes, I know I could do a bit better in terms of organizing, but this is what we got with the time that we have. So sometimes I just like sit here and like, oh, you know, this red over here is speaking to me, and I can grab that one. In fact, let's do that. I'm gonna grab this red. Things are gonna tumble down, but it's okay. So I have this red, and I sit here and think and stare at it and think and stare at it and think until, oh wait, you know, this red, I can go subtle and, you know, use colors that kind of pair with it, or I could go bold with it. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm gonna go bold with it and grab, because over here we have a bit more yarn. I'm gonna grab charcoal. So this and this, and that would make an amazing dragon. I'll let it sit there and simmer and see. I think this could work because we have a really bright color. We have a neutral color and two neutral colors, one lighter and one darker. So here we might. This is a maybe for colors for a dragon. The second option that I mentioned was using safety eye colors to match your makes. And here we have a darker blue with, it has a little bit of pink. It even has a little bit of like peachy color. So let's see, we can, this is the fun part. We can always pull out colors and then put them back in because we don't like them. So the first thing, I think, let me see, because I don't want I don't want it to be the same exact color or else it won't pop. Like the colors will just like blend in. So I don't know, like this one could work because the overall shimmer color is on point, while this one, it just blends a little bit. Yeah, but I could still use both and add another accent color, a little bit like this. So this peachy color, this is actually pink lemonade, would actually pick up the little peach flecks it has there. And again, we can always put, oh my goodness, I love this. We can always put back colors and start all over again. Look at that. Amy. Please excuse Amy. I don't know why she wants to go outside, but this could work. This could work. So yeah, so color number, like dragon number 2 is here. So I kind of did a little bit of homework before I started filming, and I have been meaning to use, they're not here right now. I pulled them out, but I'll bring them into frame in just a bit. I have been wanting to do like a pink dragon, like a very light pink pastel dragon. And then I went on Pinterest and found this board, and it's different tones of pink. Now I don't have all those different tones of pink, but I do have, I'll bring them here. Here are the skeins. Oh my goodness, this is so hard to do with one hand. But let me see if I can like move them a little bit here. So these are the colors that I mean to use, not this one. This one is over here. So these are the colors that were inspired by that Pinterest board. I don't have a lot of the brighter or more saturated colors, but I feel like these could work. This is Cotton Candy and Rose from Parfait Chunky. And this one is Hobie, and it's almost the same tone saturation from the as Cotton Candy, but it has a more of an orangey tone to it. But these 3 colors are a start for sure. I don't know, I'll probably use like white safety eyes or something to like pull it all together. We will see. Or I could add one of the other colors from the palette. So I could add some of these in terms of safety eyes. So we will see. So I definitely have a bit of homework to do in terms of crocheting. I have yarn for 3 different dinosaurs. I will circle back once I have them all done, and I'll try to explain a little bit of why I did this, because it's one thing grabbing the colors and working through them. It's another thing if like, okay, I'm going to use this color as the main color or as the accent color or as the secondary color or that sort of thing. But I will check back in once they're done. Bye. We are back, even though my voice is not. I really don't know what the deal is, because other than being very tired, I don't like my throat is not sore, like I don't have congestion. I don't know, I just sound like this. Hopefully it's not too bad, but I did get all 3 dragons done. The way that I'm going to show them might not be the same exact way that we planned them together, because to be honest, I don't remember what order we picked out the colors in. Regardless, we're going to see all 3 different variations. Now, those variations were letting Pinterest choose my colors, like I would look at a color palette and go from there, or letting the safety eyes inspire the color palette, or just like what spoke to me, like if I stare at my yarn stash, what colors jump out at me. So those are the 3 versions. I'm gonna start with the one that's right here. This one is just fresh off the hook, and this one is the colors that spoke to me when I stared at my stash category, and it's this one. I'm obsessed, 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 obsessed. The color that mainly spoke out to me was this red one, and it's a really bright red. It's almost like poppy, but it has a bit of an orangey tone, which is not like poppy from Parfait Chunky. This one is from Hobie, and what I did is I paired it with charcoal from Parfait Chunky,
fog and mustard, all in Parfait Chunky. And I paired look at these eyes. Let me see if I can get them into frame there. Look at those. Those eyes, these eyes, I got from Chronically Abby. Oh my gosh. When she sees this video and like figures out that I messed her name, Abby, I'm sorry. I'm really bad with like pairing people's names with their social media handle. Regardless, her shop will be linked down below. I did get, I want to say like 5 or 6 pairs of different eyes from her shop. And once I picked out this red and I added this yellow, I was like, I have the perfect eyes for those. And here she is. This is Baby Daisy. This is the Baby Daisy size, which is more or less the same size as Baby Danny, except that we do have extra rows in the snout and in the tail, but more or less that like more portable size. The next one that I'm going to show you fits into the category of letting my safety eyes pick the color palette category, and here she is. Now the eyes, this is what started it all. These eyes are by Stitch by D. I believe this would be my second or third order with her, and I did get a few of them. Now this glitter mix has little pops of like hot pink and light pink, as well as like a lighter blue. So that's what I did. I chose the darker blue with the lighter blue, the hot pink, and the pink one. Is that dragon wearing a headband? Yes, she is. I thought it was going to be overkill, but it's not. Just look at that adorableness. It's like, I'm not a mean dinosaur. I'm not a mean dragon. I am a cute dragon, and just like, look. Since I had a lot of this darker blue, I did the body in this, and I think it was a good decision because I was, to be honest, I was kind of tied between the dark blue or the lighter blue. But I just feel that the darker blue just makes everything, oops, fluffies, everything else like pop. I don't know. I love it. I love her. I love her. I love her. This one is also Baby Daisy, so the smaller one. And then the last category that we did was the Pinterest color palette inspired me category, or palette. I'm speechless. For sure. I don't know. She is very much pretty in pink. I'm obsessed. I did have to get her made. I made her custom eyes because none in my stash were the, because what I wanted to do with the eyes was to not make it just like one solid color of pink, but pink enough that it tied everything together, and I think I nailed it. I'm glad that I also added this like darker peachy color. This is Pink Lemonade from Parfait Chunky, because it just adds like a little pop of color. The main color is from Hobie, I think it's Toucan or Honey Bunny, one of those. I don't recall the number of it, but it's one of their lighter pinks. This is Bubblegum from Parfait Chunky mixed in with Rose, this like you know, light mauve color and pink lemonade. I also, yeah, actually, no, this isn't bubblegum. This is cotton candy. And just look at her. This is the standard size Daisy Dragon, like the big one. This one you're gonna be able to make for free if you join the All Things Autumn Crochet-A-Long. I'll link all the details down below. But if you want to make her, yes, the headband is included in the pattern. So if you want to make her for free, you can. Both patterns are going to be available on October 13th. So you can choose to make the standard size or the baby size. Just for comparison, like the difference is quite noticeable in terms of their sizes. So yeah, so wrapping things up, that is what I typically do when I pick my colors for my projects. But it's not something that is set in stone. There have been times where I have to make, for example, a chameleon that I have to test, and typically we think of chameleons as green. I'll just pick a green. I don't have to, for that sort of project, I won't necessarily need to like go into my stash. But when a project requires different colors, when you want to make multiples of the same pattern, we do kind of want to, you know, have awesome colors brought into these makes. There are many fun ways you can use these strategies, if you will, or like ideas. You can even add the color options into a winner wheel or like a spinner wheel and have it randomized and go from there. I have seen designers that they put different colors into that little spinner wheel to like, okay, so I need to make this next body part. So what color is it going to be? And the end result, even though it's like, oh my goodness, I don't know if this is going to go together, but the end result is always so stunning. As with all things crochet, just have fun with it and do whatever makes you happy when picking out your yarn colors. If you want to mix this color with that color and this other color, go for it. I'm sure the end result will be stunning. If you found today's video helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel, liking the video, sharing the video with someone who might find this helpful. I do have a couple of these more educational sort of YouTube videos where I share how I do things, like how I paint my safety eyes, you know, little tips and tricks on how I get those done, as well as the usual vlogs shared throughout. I'm even adding designer spotlight videos and the everything I made in a month video. So if any of those things interests you, please stick around for this crazy crochet chaos, and I will see you next week with another video.